In the 60s and 70s, the name Angela Davis became synonymous with black liberation and political activism. By the age of 28, she became internationally known after being wrongfully incarcerated for 14 months, charged with conspiring to help 3 inmates escape from prison. Well, she's now releasing an updated version of Angela Davis, an autobiography. And look who joins us now. There she is, scholar, activist, author, Dr. Angela Davis. It is so good to have you here with us. How are you this fine day?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'm sort of sad listening to the news, but of course we continue to struggle.
You know what, to that point, what do you see now? Because your original autobiography, it was almost 50 years ago now. So in that time, we continue to struggle. What do you come to now, all these years later, that you think, okay, we're getting somewhere on that, but then you look at this other thing and say, yeah, we got a whole lot more work to do there?
Well, you know, revisiting my autobiography makes me recognize how far we have come, but at the same time, we have so much further to go. You know, the autobiography was an attempt to tell a political story. I have to admit that initially I was somewhat ambivalent about writing an autobiography because I didn't want to focus attention on myself. Yeah. But then I realized that I could write a collective story, a story about the impulse toward freedom. And I should tell you, originally the subtitle was "With My Mind on Freedom." But I hope that this book, along with the stories of many others who narrated particular moments in the movement for racial and gender and economic equality, I hope it helps us to understand the connections between the current movement and the struggles of 50 years ago.
As you went back and read what Angela Davis wrote back then and read it now, is there anything you look at and go, oh my goodness, I was so naive, or anything you go, ooh, even cringeworthy that you read? How could I have said that? What do you think when you read it now?
Well, you know, actually, I narrated it for the audiobook. And yeah, there were moments that were that absolutely made me cringe. How could I have possibly thought that? How could I write that? You know, but then I realized that, like everyone else, I was influenced by racism, by patriarchy, by homophobia, and I decided not to change the book because I would have had to have written a completely different book today. But rather to write a short preface. And I want people to be able to gauge how far we've come in our understanding of the issues, but at the same time, what it might be like 50 years from now.
Can I ask you about one thing, the idea that we are about to get a black woman as a Supreme Court justice? I know President Biden is getting some flack about how he's going about it, but this is a campaign promise. Just your thought on the idea now that all this time we've only had 115 justices in the history of that court, but for the first time this is a possibility.
Well, I should say that in general, I am excited about this era in which the work, the achievements, the contributions of Black women are being lifted up because Black women have always done the work, but have rarely been acknowledged. Having said this, I don't know whether I would be so excited about a conservative Black woman. I think it's important to take politics into consideration. There is already a Black person on the Supreme Court, and that person is the most backward force on the court. So I want a Black woman, but I want a progressive Black woman who can help usher us into the future.
We certainly appreciate it. That's why I wanted to ask. Dr. David, it is so good to have you here on the program. It's good to chat with you. I have a copy of it in my hand right here, but we want everybody to know the new edition of Angela Davis, an autobiography, is out now. Good to see you. All right, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, hey there.
there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.